making it seem like women are smart in this regard. This is a survival. Now, I think any man that holds on to his relationship while he's living under a bridge hates his woman.
Having a man that can provide for you, that's natural. That's survival for a woman. I wouldn't tell my daughter to stick with a nigga that's got her living under a bridge.
On a one-to-one level, it never was designed to be one-to-one. The issue to me is always going to be the same until there's a repairing of the community. There needs to be a repairing of that, because doing it one-on-one is the problem. Marriage was incentivized to sustain because you have people surrounding each couple. It was never designed to be romantic, just one-on-one, and then you cute, I'm cute, let's hook up. So the problem is not marriage. The problem is there's no unity anywhere.
When the parents look at the child as though that's my son or that's my daughter, you're not going to be in support of your son divorcing his wife when that is your daughter. You're not going to be in support of your daughter divorcing her husband when that is your son, because you know what type of pain, frustration, what type of chaos is going to ensue from this, how the family is broken.
Is marriage about love or just about proving you can commit?
It's about love for men. It's about a bunch of other shit for the majority of women. Men marry for love. Women marry for help, support, burden easing, to be saved from a lifetime of poor pussy management. It's a bunch of things they marry for. But on average, men marry because they love the woman.
Yeah, I honestly think my wife married me behind love. So I don't know. I think maybe it's situational, or
no, you talking about you exception. Marcus, stop! Don't do this already, man. We just got on the panel together. You already started.
Look.
I'm sorry, Jay. I know you kick me off right now.
I don't understand. I ain't gonna lie to you. I could be living under a bridge. She'll be up under that motherfucker with me.
Yeah, like, you an exception to the rule. You and whatever True just said and what you live in is rare.
Yeah, that's why I said situational. I'm keeping it on myself.
Not situational, bro. It's called exceptional. Situational will give you like a 50-50. No, it's not situational. What Willie said is real.
All right, what you think if you was nigga, for a fact, if you wasn't in this financial position you in right now, you would have a wife. True or false?
Hell no.
So you didn't have a wife before you had money?
Oh no,
you didn't ask him that.
Yeah, that's not what you asked me.
I didn't have
when I was ignorant to society. I took
You say what?
I took the plunge when I was ignorant to society. Here's a great question for you, Marcus. If let's say you and your wife, let's say you were single right now with no kids.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it'll be a high probability that you will find the type of wife that you have right now?
Personality wise, you talking
with the crickets, JR. Hit him with the crickets because he's taking too long.
No, so I want to make sure I answer this question correctly. Are you saying like look, personality, like just the same person? Because you know everybody unique individual, but do I think I'll be able to find a beautiful, nice woman that was in love?
Marcus, it's not that hard of a question, Marcus.
It's been beautiful women since the beginning of time, and it'll be beautiful women until the end of time. Marcus, we're not talking about beautiful women. We're not talking about women with high sex appeal. We're talking about whatever it is that you have, a woman who will live under a bridge with you.
Yes, I do believe I'll be able to find a beautiful woman that want to live under a bridge with me.
And what's the likelihood of that? How likely do you think? You a damn lie.
For me specifically, I'm saying very high.
For you specifically, you a damn lie.
I did it twice. So it's
whoa. You lying too, Humble Dad?
No, he did do it twice.
I don't have no reason to dude.
He found two women that will live under a bridge with him.
I think something. Yeah, something that we're apparently most of the panel agrees upon actually is contrary to what most men say, right? So if we're saying that men are getting married because of love and women are not, it would make me assume that women are a lot more pragmatic about the situation and men are actually operating on emotions when women are being more pragmatic about it. Does that make sense, or is that wrong?
I think women are pragmatic when it comes to being able to observe what they assume tangible value may be. So basically, I think men marry women for richness and character. We don't typically care about what comes with her per se. That's what I would say is the difference, because we ultimately know that we're signing up for the relationship. We're functional in the relationship. We're supposed to build frame. We're supposed to elevate. We're supposed to scale, right? I think men and on that level, from a character perspective, yeah, we are looking at that woman. We want her, not necessarily comes with her, and that's opposite women. We know that.
So Trev, I you're right, but I hate the way you're phrasing it, because you're almost making it seem like women are smart in this regard. This is a survival. This is out of survival. Women can't do what men do. Women are not designed to do what men do. So women need us. We want them. But if you say, "Oh,
bro,"
no, you can disagree, humble dad. But before you disagree, I hope you got a helmet, chin strap, and a mouth guard.
But when you think about that, though, well, check it out. If they stand to gain, right? Because marriage is typically more beneficial and more for women and more of a risk to men, right? So we're getting with somebody based on how we feel, which a love is certainly. I mean, somebody could agree that that's not a feeling, but I don't think anyone would. If we're saying that, and we're saying that women are being more strategic about it because they stand to win, right? They're not marrying us out of love. They actually sat down and really conjured up this whole process to say, all right, this is what we're going to do. And this is one of the more important decisions that you would make in your life, if not the most important decision. If we are making decisions based on love with that, I mean, it would certainly support that argument.
Yeah, but you got to understand.
Can I get a hold on? Can I get a roll call? Everybody who believed that they woman would be with them broke. Can you raise your hand real quick for me so I can see?
Broke.
So damn near everybody.
Wait. If I was broke? No, you said under a bridge, big dog, not broke.
Did you have to ask the question, my G?
Hey, I think my woman would be
M.
stupid
White,
if she didn't need to live under
I'll
a
just
bridge.
be honest with you, M. White. I think even if a dude felt like that wasn't the truth, they probably still raise their hand. Real shit, but
M. White, but you got to think too. Like what's broke for, like, say for you and Mont is different for an average guy.
He just said under a bridge.
I mean, I didn't already been broke.
This under bridge might be in a rich white neighborhood. The average dude is gonna be in the fucking projects. That's what I'm saying. Like, so
hey, they don't allow that in rich white neighborhoods, man.
Broke is super subjective. So I think that you'd have to ask, like, for those of us who got with our women before they had money, then that's a conversation to have with them. But unfortunately, for those of us who got with our women after we were established, we found somebody at the finish line. Which women wait at the finish line and fuck the winners. So we found our women who want to fuck us at the finish line. We got to accept what may have come with that. If I had never got to the finish line, I would have never met this woman. So I wouldn't expect her to stay, given that, I am fairly certain that with a successful man, him being successful is attractive to all women. It may not be the primary thing, but it is a main thing for them. So
let's address what Marcus said real quick. Now, Marcus, I'm going to take you literally as saying living under a bridge. Now, I think any man that holds on to his relationship while he's living under a bridge hates his woman.
Yeah, that's not the question, though. That's really not the question.
Yeah.
That's a tangential point.
Yeah. I think you hate your woman if she under a bridge living with you.
Okay. I'm sure her father would agree, but that's not the point. That's not the point. The premise is that
because it's a lie. Because it's a lie, Marcus. Because it's a lie.
If we remove the things that we all provide, would we still have a woman?
95%
of the panel said yes. So we can't just paint them to be gold diggers who only with us to benefit. When niggas had women their whole life, broke, rich.
It don't make them gold diggers for wanting to have niggas with money.
No, gentlemen. It's not
that
about
doesn't make
money.
you a gold digger because you want to get with a guy that has bread. That's not what will make her a gold digger. What make her a gold digger is you want to get with a nigga so you can get his bread. So what he can do for you. Having a man that can provide for you, that's natural. That's survival for a woman. I wouldn't tell my daughter to stick with a nigga that's got her living under a bridge. Like,
right.
But I think Marcus is with Marcus. I kind of agree with Marcus though to some degree, because I don't know about the other niggas on the panel, but I got a lot of women when I was broke. And
no, but was you living under a bridge? But was you living under a bridge?
Be realistic, yo. Come on,
so
now.
stop using these.
I had girls walk 2 miles to my house. I swear to God.
Oh, what? Maybe she
2
wanted
mile
to
walk to my house.
Much, you gotta realize what makes you above average, or you know what I'm saying, exceptional isn't just your money. Like, you got the genetics, you got the personality,
but that's
you're smart,
the point,
saying you got all that charisma and shit too.
58th and King Sesson to 51st and Styles. If you from Philly, you know what I said.
I don't know shit about that, but getting a girl to walk 2 miles.
Listen,
like who wants you 2 mile walk, coochie?
Two, yeah. And my mom until her come sit right on his face after she did the 2 miles, because he don't care. He say you can wipe your backside with my tongue. Mom would let a chick wipe her backside on his tongue. He is perfectly fine.
That's what you do when you losing.
Yeah.
No, y'all won't let
you
me
saying
get
that
it out.
you oh my God. You saying your girl would leave you? Is that what you're saying?
No. Listen, I'm saying under a bridge.
Yeah,
we've all experienced broke, and we've all got women before. That's not something that's hard to do. Women deal with broke men because women deal with men in their proximity.
Right, but the question was, it's allegorical, right? You know that though, right? You know it's allegorical.
I asked him, does he mean literally under a bridge? He said yes.
If he says yes, then
lied.
That's him. You're basing that upon your feelings about yourself.
No, he has to have some practical experiences to believe that is literally true. He figuratively believes it's true.
Right?
I never actually lived under a bridge.
Right. So you can't make that's like saying, I know if I lost all my limbs, my woman will still be with me. Well, if you lose all your limbs, that's when you'll find out.
Most people don't even meet their wife until they're sitting across from a table doing a divorce decree negotiation with them. Anyway,
I got another question for the panel. Does having sisters or female relatives change how you treat women you date?
No, it made it worse.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I didn't hear you.
Does having sisters or female relatives change how you treat women you date?
Absolutely not.
Made it worse. My grandfather had 24 grandchildren. I'm the youngest and I'm the only boy. Seeing what them hard-headed hoes that I was raised around were doing the niggas and going through taught me to, no disrespect, a lot of women ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got 2, 3, 4 baby daddies. All of them, putting niggas on child support for the same kid. They was all doing trifling shit. So me being the youngest and seeing that shit, I came up thinking like, no, I'm not going to treat you motherfuckers special because you're a girl. Once you show me that you're, worth being treated special, then you'll get that out of me. But outside of that, no, them motherfuckers crazy.
Well, I can tell you it had the reverse effect on me than Willie. So I got a lot of aunts and uncles, but come on, little baby. Listen, you don't meet your uncles' wives too often, but you meet all the aunties. I'm sorry. You sometimes you meet the uncle's girlfriends, but you got a lot of cousins by your aunties, and you never know who your cousins' daddies are. So it's real strange that all my female cousins, I've only met like 3 of their daddies, and I got a lot of female cousins. So women, one of the things one of the things I was dealing with when I was younger is I didn't want that cycle to repeat. I was like, yo, I want to have a different outcome, my legacy, whatever you want to call it. And that's one of the things that propelled me to explore marriage at a younger age. I don't advise it, but it's people's proximity, their environment shapes them a lot. And I didn't see a lot of married men, so I didn't know. I didn't see men getting divorced. I didn't see how his chair. Oh my God.
Smoke a daddy dick.
Yo.
Yeah, we just put them to sleep. I already know they've been asleep about 40 minutes. So yeah.
Go ahead, Trev.
I'm gonna go ahead and answer it.
Hold on, y'all. Trev was talking first. Go ahead, Trev.
My kids just woke up from a nap, Marcus. Damn, I'm pissed off.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say it did make me treat women that way. I I was raised around women who lost their virginity to their husbands and shit like that. So I began treating women as if that was the case and ran into a fucking buzzsaw, unfortunately. So my experience when I got into the world was nothing of what the people around me experienced, because I'm like, damn, this is different, because the females didn't act like that. So I did have to adapt. Unfortunately, I had an overcorrection and then wreaked havoc on civilization for a little bit, but I dialed it back a little bit and had a balance. So I think it definitely does affect you, but sometimes it can absolutely work against you, even if you see a great example.
So my parents was married before my father died, but my mother told me that I should have multiple girlfriends. Like if I'm walking 8 to 10 blocks away, and if I'm driving, they need to be a town away, and that everything that glitters ain't gold and don't get open off of none of these young girls. Then I realized early that you had to treat the individual when it come to women, because some of them be hoes, might fuck 10 niggas, and some won't even date nobody that dated they like a friend of a friend of a boyfriend. So you kind of gotta like learn how to read the signs and don't put no pressure on nobody to be who you want them to be, and let them show you who they are, and just accept whatever that is and treat that relationship accordingly. So it's just different, just depend on the woman for me. Like some of them gonna be going, some of them gonna be like, you know what I'm saying? Let them show you though. Don't force no personality, no traits, no projection. Don't put none of that shit on them. Whoever they are, let them show you that shit and embrace them and appreciate them for that. Don't be mad at them for being hoes, because they're gonna hide. Don't be trying to, you know what I'm saying? You gotta let them be them so you can experience who they really are.
All right, Hank, I know you was trying to say something.
Yeah, shit. As far as my cousins, I didn't have a sister, so that didn't matter to me. But watching how my cousin would get over on these dudes, man, I said, man, I never want to be these clowns who took it to the goddamn cleaners, taking all the goddamn money, just using, abusing, and throwing them to the goddamn street. I said, no, these are a bunch of clowns. So they taught me not to be a clown like them dudes.
All right. I got this one last question before I play some more of this video. I know Nelson and True been a little quiet, but can a man raised around marriage truly understand single women's independence? Can a man raised around marriage truly understand single women's independence?
You playing the video, right? Or are you asking a question?
That was a question before I played the next video. That was a question because Kendra brought up
yeah. All right. So I would say, if you raised in a community that's only been married, and like it wasn't no hoes in your vicinity, and the people wasn't fucking with hoes, and you didn't have transactional relationships and all that stuff going around, I think it'd be real difficult, because you're gonna be in for a culture shock. One, you won't understand the difference in what I was just explaining about that. Not all, because I've heard men who were raised that way and then later on figure out that women can be players too, and women try and do extra shit, be upset because they had an expectation they set for women to put them on a pedestal, and when they find out they're not perfect angels, their world be rocked, and that's real difficult to recover from. And that's where you kind of get the raging, where somebody be like, oh, they just red pill raging because they just discovered the true identity of women or whatever. Like once they get past that phase, most of the time they calm down and become regular. But that first getting the wool pulled from over your eyes, that's difficult. Like friendships in all walks of life are important. Understanding that everybody not the same, and that you need to be able to compartmentalize behaviors, as opposed to just saying, hey, all women act like this, all men act like this. That's real beneficial. But if you grow up in a homogenous community where everybody is very similar, you in for a culture shock when you get in with the rest of the world.
Yeah. Anybody else on that one?
Yeah, I think Marcus is gonna have hope God willing he never experiences divorce, because if he experienced divorce, he gonna have this culture shock that he talking about.
Bro, I'm what?
Well, like I do want to bring this up because this is something that I have noticed too as well, is that some of the people who are against marriage, I find it kind of strange that at some point in time they was for marriage. It's a difference when if you just was brought up and you just were totally against marriage, but usually they had a bad experience when it came to marriage, and now they just anti-marriage. But there are some people who went through divorce that the man know it was his fault, and so he still believes in marriage. So I think it all depends on the experience that person had, and where they're just so gung-ho about I'm never getting married again, depending on the outcome.
Will, you know I used to be anti-marriage and wanted I'll never get married niggas. Did you know that?
Well, I know it now. I did not know that.
I can see it.
I used to be like, man, hell no, I'm just gonna be fucking you for the rest of my life and da-da-da-da. And I'm not gonna get stuck in a situation where I'm dealing with a nagging ass woman. Da-da-da. I just learned to look for personality traits and realize that not everybody gonna be that type of woman. I just gotta avoid them. And look for any sign.
You wasn't really anti-marriage. You was just around a lot of hoes, and you was in a advantageous position. Yes, you were, bro.
Well,
you thought
that
you
was later.
anti-marriage.
Growing up, my uncles and them, they wives, I didn't appreciate the way that they interactions was, and I knew how I wanted to interact with a woman was not like that. And if that's what marriage was, which I thought it was, I wasn't for that shit. Like, you gonna put some respect on my name.
You must be in Marcus. You must be in his skin. Because you sure do know a lot about Marcus.
I know a lot about you too, humble dad.
I know True. Hold on, y'all, because I know True and Will was trying to get in there, and Nelson haven't spoken either. So, like, you three gentlemen, go ahead.
I think it's an interesting question, but the issue for me when I'm listening to everybody is why I've been quiet, and you know, this is a primarily Black space. The relationship we're talking about, you're talking about marriage. On a one-to-one level, it never was designed to be one-to-one. The issue to me is always going to be the same until there's a repairing of the community. There needs to be a repairing of that, because doing it one-on-one is the problem. Marriage was incentivized to sustain because you have people surrounding each couple. It was never designed to be romantic, just one-on-one, and then you cute, I'm cute, let's hook up. So the problem is not marriage. The problem is there's no unity anywhere. That's the issue. And I think that it's hard to, I guess, get us to understand how valuable that is. If you ever survey any community that is overly married, like, you know, the small hats, Asians, Middle Easterns, they're not married because love and all these things are great, or that they don't have communication barriers or limitations or things of that nature. They typically remain married because there's a lot of things involved in each person remaining together. It's past kids. It's past just, you know, last names. It's past optics. And I don't think most of us really understand that. You know, am I making sense? Because we still make it seem like it's like just man, woman, and then they get together and they work through it. No, by the time most of us, I don't think will know how to function in a marriage, because we haven't seen it, but no one's given the tools to assess, like Marcus is saying, what a woman truly looks like. Like, I didn't learn until I've been in this space that brothers don't know how to be treated. They think that a woman cooking and cleaning is good treatment. They don't even understand how she is supposed to serve. She's supposed to come with a certain decorum, period. It ain't got nothing to do with money. It ain't got nothing to do with height, none of that. So a lot of it, I think, is hard to recognize. We have a dating culture. And that's what makes marriage, in my opinion, very, very difficult to even, you know, process, like what it takes, because it's past just the man, the woman. You're supposed to be able to lean on your brethren. You know, go sit with her daddy, be like, check this out, you raise this girl, tell me what I may not be communicating correctly. Because, you know, those things and those gaps that exist is why it's problematic, in my opinion. You know, and I'll learn.
All right, go ahead, Willie and Nelson.
Shit, I forgot the question.
I thought you wanted to comment. The question was,
yeah, no, I think I answered the question. Well, I was gonna say, Will, I used to be super anti-marriage. Y'all know the baby oil story, so you know how that shit went. So I was definitely, you know, I'm never doing this shit again.
They didn't know the baby oil story because nobody smiled. Anybody that know that story would have laughed.
Hank knows it because he was here. Will knows it because we just talked about it before. And Trev was here, but he just got a poker face. And Mont know the story because he know the whole story. Like he know the whole story. But again, it took me like after I had made money to realize like the only thing in life that I can't buy or that I can't, you know, purchase transactionally is a family. And unfortunately, for my previous viewpoint, you have to have a wife to have a family. So, and being able to provide that for my children, that was something I decided to realize that I actually wanted to do. So now, you know, I have aspirations of getting married again, but you know, this time she got to die. We ain't getting divorced. I'm gonna be a widow. I'm not gonna be a divorcee again.
All right, go ahead, Nelson. Then we'll play this video.
What was the original question again?
The last question that I asked was, can a man raised around marriage truly understand single women's independence?
I mean, I think it depends on. It really depends on the what type of marriages that person was raised around. Like, there's a lot of people that's married, but is actually just like functioning like roommates. So you can really see the whole gambit of what these so-called relationships look like. I think our culture has been pushed so far in the direction of independence that I don't know. I just think marriage is becoming a foreign concept. Like there's no real framework for what it should look like other than, you know, if you know, the Bible, you know, using that as your framework. But just based on how our culture is, the norm is turning into do for yourself, be for yourself, make sure you have your own. If you do get married, make sure you both have to be functioning your own individual purposes, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just not, our culture is just not really geared towards marriage anymore, in my opinion.
Hey, I wanted to touch on what True said real quick. And this kind of piggyback a little bit of what Nelson is saying. True is 100% right. Look, because they're like, people don't have a sense of duty. Now this applies to men and women. I think women are the biggest problem, but it applies to both genders. So when I got married, I professed that I should have never gotten married, not because I was too young, not because I was inexperienced or immature, because everybody is, for the most part, inexperienced and immature when it comes to marriage. Because until you live in that dynamic, you can be 40 years old and think, oh, I'm mature, I'm ready. And no, you're not necessarily mature for marriage, because it's a commitment that you've never experienced. The problem is because True said there's no unity in our community. First of all, I push back on that a little bit. True, we don't have a community, right? So you have to develop a community, then you have to develop some unity, and then duty will set in. Because when there's duty, then people don't get divorced. The reason why I should have never been married is because my ex-wife's father never viewed me as his son. And her mother never viewed me as her son. And my mother never viewed her as her daughter. Because if we did that, like my woman now, her mom views me like a son. I view her mom like a mother. Now, that doesn't mean our relationship couldn't terminate. But because she views me like that, when me and my woman's had problems and I've talked to her mom treated me like I was her son. Her mom then went to her daughter and expressed some frustrations with her daughter on my behalf, as well as what she was witnessing. Now, she didn't just side with me, because she also talked greasy about me a little bit. So at the end of the day, when the parents look at the child, and we're adults, right? But I'm just, so you guys don't get misconstrued in a relationship. When the parents look at the child as though that's my son or that's my daughter, you're not going to be in support of your son divorcing his wife when that is your daughter. You're not going to be in support of your daughter divorcing her husband when that is your son, because you know what type of pain, frustration, what type of chaos is going to ensue from this, how the family is broken. You will do everything in your power to protect that unity, because it's not just your daughter leaving a man that she don't want to be with. It's your daughter leaving your son. Now, people don't think of incest. This is you have to our thought process is fractured. We think bad, we think poorly, we don't understand how to value each other, we don't understand how to appreciate each other. And so because of that, when people start to have their differences in relationships, the man's family supports him, woman's family support her. And then once those sides have been taken, it's easy for her to badmouth me to her people and for me to badmouth her to my people. And all they're going to do is support the decision you want to make, which is to separate. They're not going to make you feel like, yo, you leave this woman, we're going to ostracize you. Yo, you leave this man, we're going to ostracize you. So don't think you're going to run back to the nest and then you're going to introduce us to another man or you're going to introduce us to another woman. Our stock is in him or our stock is in her. If we have a family function, she will be at all of them. We have a family function, he will be at all of them. So if you want to make it awkward and bring whatever Tom, Dick, and Harry or Sally Mae Sue to the family function, if it's a problem, we're going to ask you to leave. But we don't have that type of duty. And so because that duty don't exist, it's going to always be this type of problem. I'll land.
That was very phenomenal, Tim.